What's up, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. Aaron was just mocking me right now. He was pretending to do the intro for the video. Anyways, I'm down here on the floor doing this Lexus ISF brake caliper wrap. All right, so I've done all three already. The front and the rear is going to be the same techniques as far as how you're going to install it. What I do is I do one piece across the back, and then we're going to do our main section across the front. My hands are dirty, so that's why I kind of covered this piece, because there's all kinds of like anti-seize stuff there, and it's just getting all over me. Anyways, so what you're going to want to do when you're doing brake calipers is you're going to want to degrease them like thoroughly. Like you don't even, the stuff that, this is a pretty new car, and the stuff that was caked onto this brake caliper and all the rest of them was pretty heavy duty. So I used degreaser, and I don't know what brand, what's the brand of degreaser that we're using, guys? Aaron, what's the brand of degreaser? Yeah. 3M degreaser, all right? Yeah. So it's just gonna be safe for this kind of stuff. Not something you're gonna really wanna use on your paint, but a brake caliper is a different kind of paint. Obviously it's high temp. So the question is are these going to last as far as high temperatures go when they stop and go? I've done brake calipers in the past using 3M. Today I'm using Vivid, and I've done all three, and it's been way easier than I thought. Like, this film is amazing. It's really thin, so we're doing them in red because these are Brembo brakes branded as Lexus. So this is Vivid Premium Plus brake caliper film. You know it is because it says Vivid Commercial Graphics Premium Series on the back. Super important that you get this stuff, not something else. I've used 3M. There's no air release. It shatters, it rips, it tears. Like, it's so hard to use. I did that on an M4. This, on the other hand, is amazing. It's pliable, it stretches without almost any heat at all. And yeah, we've been using this. So let's get our piece cut. Oh yeah, so once I've degreased this, what we're going to do is wipe everything down with isopropyl alcohol on top of that, because that's important that we don't leave degreaser on there, otherwise the film won't stick. When it comes to doing brake calipers, I don't know if you have red ones already or green ones already or whatever, depending on the color of your brake caliper, that's going to be how much you're going to want to cover. So when the wheel goes back on, you can't really see back here that much. If you want to go all the way around, by all means go for it. You don't need to go all the way to the back and on the inside, it's not necessary. And when we trim out this section here, I'm just cutting a square out. You know, if this was red and we were putting black, let's say it was the opposite, you're going to want to make sure that anything that was visible from when the wheel was on gets covered, all right? This is a black caliper, so it's going to be super easy. It's a lot easier than other ones. And we're just going to trim right in here and leave the black exposed on the inside there. I can't really clean in here properly anyways, so unless we remove them. So that's going to be where we're going to draw the line, basically right on the edge of all the back here. And then I'm going to cut it off right at the back here, and then we're going to have full coverage as far as the front goes. You're going to see how good it looks. It looks like a real Brembo caliper. Well, it is, but it looks like real Brembo red. We also have stickers that go on afterwards. So a couple of things to take in mind here is that some of the clear coat has come off here and there, and it's got a bit of corrosion, nothing crazy, but there's going to be a bit of corrosion on your brakes. So if you need to sand them down, I guess do what you got to do to make them smooth. These ones are still fairly smooth. It does have a couple imperfections, but I mean, they are brakes, so they're going to go through some pain. Anyways, let's get the piece cut that we need. So this film, like I said, is super thin and very flimsy and very, very conformable. It's air release, and it's supposed to be high temp. So we'll find out. Anyways, let's get it on the back. So this is a bit of a process, all right, guys? Bear with me. It's not a quick job. Like, we're looking at around 45 minutes or so per caliper. But if you want to keep the original finish, this is always a great way to do that. So we're just going to work the film in. I'll try and get the camera closer, because I know that it's going to be hard to see, especially with the angle. All right, so what I want to do is I want to contour this down and out, because the brake caliper is not flat. We can glass this film out really easily and not worry about anything, all right? So, like, right off the bat, the air release and everything works well. There's a little dip back here I want to get into with my fingers. This is mostly, you're going to use your fingers for this, all right? This is not really like a squeegee type of application. So as you can see, I'm just working it into recesses and crevices without any heat. And any wrinkles, they come out really easily. All right, we got that section in the back of the top done. You can swing it around here, and we're just gonna work it in. The tricky part is when you start doing this right now is that you're not really sure where you need to wrap. So that can be a challenge on its own. This film is super conformable. Like, it sticks great. Like, I'm actually not worried about it failing, even with all the stretch and everything that this has. So I'm using my squeegee to get into this little recess point right here, and then we're gonna come down here. And what you want to do is make sure there's no air behind this, because if you have air and you have high temperatures, what's going to happen? The vinyl is going to expand. You're going to get bubbles. It's going to pop. All right. I'm trying to do this without breaking my back and getting in your way at the same time. I would normally lay down right about now. So I'm going to show you that I'm going to work into this that little recess there. I want to give the film some slack to do that. You don't want to stretch entirely into a deep recess like that. All right. So make sure the air's out. So that's what's going to be like tricky about doing brake calipers, is all this little stuff to work around. All right, like it's a big pain. I mean, painting them is not going to be all that much easier. You can get them powder coated, then you got to take them off, and it's just like, all right, you're going to spend money and time doing that, and yeah. So I mean, this is just another option. It's really not that bad, actually. So if it's something you're doing for yourself, it's really not that bad. So there's a little nipple here, a little greasing nipple here. We got to go around it, which is kind of the hard part. All right, I'm just gonna put myself into a better position. I see a wrinkle here that I want out. So look at it. We gotta always flow right to the edge. And I'm gonna try and work around that little nipple there. I'm gonna get my blade and cut it slightly so that we can alleviate some of that tension there. Just lift it up over top of that. And so this film, on top of how easy it is to install, it seams really nicely. Like you can seam this film and not even notice it. It's super thin, clear adhesive. So clear adhesive, just easy to use, guys. My heat gun's over there. I will need it a little bit. It's not much that I need it. I'm just kind of being lazy right now. Let's go get it. Wait 1 second. All right. Just kind of wanted to shrink it back. If you get a little wrinkle in there or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't be that concerned about it. They're not very visible. But, you know, you want to make it as perfect as you possibly can. As always, we're always striving for perfection when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I'm just working my way around that little nipple. I'll cut it out nicer after. Perfect. Work the film out here. So we're going to work out to this outer edge here. You can kind of just push down. This film is so forgiving that you can kind of just push down around the nipple and not really cut it out. That's what I did on the front ones. Back ones are a little bit different as far as the technique goes to wrap them. So I wanted to do a couple of them before I did a video, so that way I can talk to you about it and my experience with it so far. My experience has been great. So we'll have to find out how long they do last. I mean, I don't know what kind of warranty is on this product just yet. It's a fairly new product, but this is honestly, if it holds up to the high temp, then it's great. Like, there isn't anything better out there for brake calipers. I think the color selection is pretty limited, actually. I would like to see some more colors, but I don't think the demand has been high enough for them to start making other colors. I think I got samples the other day, and they were like, it was green, yellow, red, and black. So kind of basic as far as that kind of stuff goes. Let's shrink that a little bit. I don't want to stretch too much. So yeah, you can see that you're going to want to use your fingers and get in to certain areas. I don't have tiny fingers. I don't have super large fingers. It's just going to be easier or more difficult depending on the size of your fingers for certain brakes. And every brake's going to be different, all right? I would love to take these off and do them. It'd probably be way easier. So, I mean, if you're mechanically inclined and you feel like taking your brake calipers off is something you can do, by all means do that, because it's going to be a lot easier. And I know that I mentioned that wrapping parts that are not that are not mounted are more difficult. There's a little bubble there. I'm just going to pop it out. I can go over it afterwards and get the bubbles out. I see a wrinkle there also. I want to get that out. Yes, I think for brake calipers, doing them off the car wouldn't be terribly difficult. They're small, and there isn't too much pulling that you need to do. I'm only doing all this pulling because of the angle that I have to work at it, because the fender's in my way and everything's kind of in my way right now. So it's a little bit more difficult because of that. All right, so we're gonna finish off the back here. Let's get it all tucked away. All right. Just gonna add heat, 'cause it's gonna make things go a little bit faster. Got a little recess here, so I want to lay it into that recess. Sorry if I'm in your way. I'm just trying to do this the best I can without getting in everyone's way. All right, great. So we're as far as we need to go around the bottom and the side here. My next piece is going to come and overlap right to this edge here, all right? When we're cutting, especially on a nice brake caliper like this, we're gonna want to be careful, you know? Like this is not, if they ever want to take it off, we don't want to have scratches all over it. So this is gonna be another thing. Keep in mind, if you have old crappy brake calipers, whatever, you know, like no big deal. But these are nice, so we don't want to scratch them up. I'm just working the film a little bit further on the top here. That way everything's covered. All right. So what I like to do is try to make my cut on the inside. All right. And take the back of my blade and skim it along the edge. So that's gonna give me a straight cut, which is hooked on the shield, the heat shield there. All right. Sorry if the lighting sucks. I apologize. I don't really have anything that I can use right now other than what you're seeing. So again, back of the blade, running it all along the back here. My blade is kind of dulling out. So. We can tuck everything around afterwards. Sorry, it's gonna get a little loud in here. So again, the goal is get everything that's visible from the outside with the wheel on covered. Perfect. All right. So now I'm gonna make a line. Well, I have this hard body line, but I do not have one up here, but I'm gonna come right to the edge and just make a line, all right? So all I wanna do is score this film. This film is thin. I don't need a lot of pressure. And your experience with the blade will come into play. All right, so we're looking good. Let's cut out this section here after we kind of smooth it down a little bit more. Get the Brembo covered and all that fun stuff, because there's actually writing here and here on the top and bottom. So we want to run this as straight as we can. It's difficult with like brake pads in the way and stuff like that, and clips and all kinds of other weird things. So that's kind of why my blade has dulled out a bit on me. Whatever you don't cut straight, you can always clean up afterwards. This angle's killing my back because I'm leaning over right now and I'm just trying to give you guys access to be able to see. So I need to find the edge here. So again, I'm just cutting on the inside. There's not really even any paint on the inside here. It's really weathered. And in the end, it's an improvement overall because the brake calipers do have some wear and tear. All right. So we're gonna hit it with some heat, go over these edges, make it all nice, tuck it away. Remember, this is a visual modification. This is not a performance or anything like that. It's just a visual modification, all right? So visual means that we don't need to wrap in and under and all through all kinds of weird things. We just want it to look good because that's the goal. All right, so now we have the front portion here to do. So I'm gonna switch the camera around just so you can see this, and it can put me in a better position. Whew. All right, hopefully you can see with the lighting. It's not the greatest, I know, sorry guys. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna cut our other piece. What I like to, and you can see there's like some marks here and stuff, like this is built into the, like this is metal, it's not coming off. So there's gonna be some stuff. There's a, sorry, it says 1A, it's actually lettering. So you're gonna see some stuff through it, whatever. They're brake calipers, they're not meant to be perfect. Make sure everything's pretty clean. So what I like to do is start on the inside. So I'm gonna lay down in front of you, sorry if I'm in your way. I'm gonna start here, all right? What I wanna do is draw it down a little bit and work the film in. Fantastic. Again, this is super forgiving. Come around there, come across the lettering on the bottom, and that is pretty much done. It's actually so corroded by the brake pad that there isn't any paint left there, so it'll have a hard time sticking. So we're just gonna bring it back a little bit. And if your car has the same thing, not a big deal. It doesn't need to be painted for it to stick, but I'm not gonna put it, because it's black, I'm not gonna put it in an area where I think that it's going to fail. So, because it's still not gonna look bad. All right, so we're gonna stretch this out. can see how easy this is. I'm not even adding any heat. All right, I'll change my position here. I'm gonna draw some tension up now so to get rid of some of the slack in here. So same concept when we're doing this or a door wrap or a hood wrap or whatever. You kind of want to glass it still. Like, you don't want to just leave all this slack. Leaving all this slack will just inevitably bite you in the ass. And sorry for the swear words. Yeah, it's just going to build up and cause you problems. Got some air in that little recess here. So I use my finger and it kind of just gets in there really good. Take the film, stretch out. You got an air bubble there, that's fine, I'll go over it afterwards. Pop it out. Alright, so we can only really tuck so far underneath here. That's pretty tight there, and then come across the top here. And we've got as much coverage as we need. Let me poke a little hole. Perfect. I actually can see there's still some air in there, so I want to get that out. I'm not happy with that. That will probably cause a problem. Sorry if I'm in your way. I'm just going to try and put my head down. So up in this area here, my finger couldn't really get in there, so I'll use the squeegee. I think we're good now. So this film takes a pretty good beating. I don't have any issues with it yet. I've been stretching it and pulling it and everything. So I'm going to bring this back a little bit and kind of stretch it all out a little bit nicer. Just even it out a little bit. All right. Now it's just going to be trimming and we're done. Let's get the wrinkles out of there. So I get a lot of people asking me to wrap wheels. I don't really like it that much, to be honest. It's hard, and wheels vary so much. While brake calipers, on the other hand, they don't really change all that much. The brake caliper is a brake caliper, really. And you have, on this vehicle here, you have 6 pot in the front and 1 in the back. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lexus enthusiasts. Sorry, 6 pot in the front? Yeah, I think so. I have no idea. I'm not really that into it. It has 3 pods, probably on each side, so 6. This would be 2, I guess. All right, so we're done here, guys. I'm just gonna go over this with some heat, let it shrink back before I do any cutting. I want everything to be stuck down nicely. I slap the decal on and call it a day. So a fresh blade, because I've been butchering mine a lot. And it starts here at the top. That's just my shoe, making that lovely noise. So I'll just score the film. You want to have some overlap. You can use knifeless if you're more comfortable. It's just not really necessary. Perfect. All right, let's trim off the excess on the bottom. Let's do this area here. Just trying to figure out the best angle to approach this. It's awkward, it's not easy. Let's finish off the bottom. I'll show you what this looks like all done. I'll show you the front one too while I have the wheel off. Looks amazing. Let's hit it with some heat, round off the edges and everything, smooth it out. All right, guys, and that's it. That is a brake caliper wrap. Looks amazing. Let's check out the front one. That is the front one. That's just the black brake pad in there, but I pushed the film into all those recesses. That's all I did. All right, guys, so that is how you wrap a brake caliper in Vivid's new brake caliper wrap. Pretty easy to use. I did that one in 30 minutes while instructing, and yeah, the prep to clean it was probably about 5 minutes. So yeah, I spent about 30 minutes on this. Not terrible. Looking at about 2 hours or so for the full car, depending on the brakes. Some are harder, some are not. And that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I've got tons of more stuff coming up, all kinds of training. We have our workshop coming up. We got a Lambo coming in. We got another Type R coming up. We got, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. We got an i8 in rose gold. We got just, I don't know. I just got to look at the calendar. Anyways, guys, thanks for following. Take care.